Hey guys, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for stopping guys. So in today's video I'm going to talk about some really affordable drugstore eyeshadow palettes. There are some eyeshadow palettes, they are not technically drugstore but they are extremely affordable and they are easily available. In case you are a beginner or you are on a budget, then this video is going to be really helpful for you and you guys. I have like over 100 eyeshadow palettes in my collection and I had a hard time picking these palettes for you all because I figured that out of my collection, these are the palettes that like stand out the most, and these palettes are so good. The formula is just amazing. The price point is just on point, and I think you are going to find this video really helpful. So yeah, before starting, if you are new to the channel, then hi, I am Neeta. I upload makeup, skincare and beauty related videos here on my channel. If those things interest you, then please consider subscribing. It will mean a lot to me, and if you are already a subscriber, then thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Now, when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, the one brand that immediately comes to my mind is Makeup Revolution, because when I was starting out, I used to use a lot of Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes, and I only had Makeup Revolution and some like drugstore eyeshadow palettes in my collection. So I need to mention some of my favorite Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes in today's video. I know there is an inconsistency in Makeup Revolution's formula. Like one palette you try, it is so good, and the other palette you try, it is not so good. But these palettes are really good, and the first one that I want to mention, and you have probably seen me using and like raving about this palette a lot, this is the Makeup Revolution Reloaded Velvet Rose eyeshadow palette. This is your basic, this is like a basic neutral nude tones eyeshadow palettes, but you can create so many looks using this palette. I have so many eyeshadow tutorials here on my channel where I used this eyeshadow palette. In case you want some inspiration, you can go ahead and check them out. The formula of this eyeshadow palette is very unique, and I think that this formula is very different from other Makeup Revolution eyeshadow formulas. And the mattes in here are very pigmented, very smooth. Like when you touch it, you can immediately feel that smoothness, that butteriness in the matte formula. Like you can see how pigmented these shadows are. The shimmers are beautiful and metallic and foiled, and you know they just have that punch. With some shimmer formulas, when you try to apply them, they are very sheer, they are very difficult to apply, they are hard pan. But with this formula, they are very smooth, very buttery. I have been using this palette for like over 3 years at this point, and each time I use it, I come up with really good looks and the shadows blend beautifully. And this palette is very beginner friendly at the same time again, and it is a spot on due for Anastasia Soft Glam eyeshadow palette. Definitely check it out. This formula is bomb degree. The other two eyeshadow palettes from Makeup Revolution that I just love is this one, Revolution Soph Extra Spice palette. This is what I am wearing today. By the way, if you want a tutorial of this look, I recently uploaded YouTube shorts. I will link it in the description box down below, so go ahead and check that out. Again, I have used this eyeshadow palette so much. You can see there are literally dents on the matte shadows as well as on the shimmer shadows. I used to use this eyeshadow palette a lot. I still use it because the formula is so good. It is pigmented, it is very buttery. Oof, look at that shade, and the shimmers are really metallic, foiled. I think this shimmer formula and the shimmer formula of this Velvet Rose palette is very similar. They are very creamy, pigmented, metallic, foiled and whatnot, and the shadows are really easy to work with. And when I use this eyeshadow palette, I feel like I'm using some kind of high-end eyeshadow palettes, but it is a drugstore eyeshadow palette and it is really affordable. And this formula is, again, I think all the Makeup Revolution formula that I am going to mention in today's video, the formula is very similar and they are consistent throughout the palettes that I'm going to mention. So this palette is so good and the color story is beautiful as well. You are getting a variety of colors, some neutral tones here, so you can create so many different looks using this eyeshadow palette. Again, I highly recommend it, and this is a great palette for bridal makeup as well, and for those Indian desi looks, I think the color story is just perfection. And the next next eyeshadow palette that I recently tried and I just fell in love with, and I think again the formula of this eyeshadow palette is so good, and it is very different from other Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes that I have used personally. And I am talking about this Revolution Pro. I think Revolution Pro is a sister brand, or I don't know, is a branch of Makeup Revolution. Anyway, I'm talking about this Revolution Pro New Neutrals eyeshadow palette, and it is supposed to be a dupe for the Huda Beauty Nude eyeshadow palette over here. First of all, the color story is beautiful. I love my warm, like mauve pink tone shadows, and it has those shades, and I absolutely love it. Again, when you touch them, like just go to any store, swatch them, touch them, and you can immediately feel that creaminess in the matte shades. Oh my god, these are pigmented, you guys, pigmented, but it's not like pigmented in a bad way where you cannot just blend those shadows, you cannot just manipulate them. You can actually blend it out, build it up. This matte formula is so good, and the shimmers are, oof, look at this. Do you see that, how metallic the shimmers are? It is a good eyeshadow palette. The formula is so good. The metallics are so good. So in case you are on a budget and you need to try a good affordable eyeshadow palette, definitely give it a shot. The next two eyeshadow palettes are from Wet n Wild, and I am talking about my OG favorite Wet n Wild Rose in the Air palette, or Rose in the Air palette. Again, when I first started out, this eyeshadow palette was in my collection, and I used to use this palette a lot, and I have created so many eyeshadow tutorials using this eyeshadow palette. You can go ahead and check them out. This formula, you guys, like, this product went viral for a reason, because the formula of this eyeshadow palette is so good. And I have tried so many eyeshadow palettes from Wet n Wild, and this formula is like top notch. I love the color story. Like, it has all those like neutrals, warm tones, and you are also getting a beautiful like plum shade, like darker, deeper plum pink shade over here. The formula is super duper nice, you guys. The shimmers are like satin shimmers, it's not like metallic shimmers, but I love them. I have used this eyeshadow palette a lot. I have created so many looks using it. I have traveled with it. The formula is so smooth and buttery, not powdery or chalky at all, and it never ever becomes patchy when I try to blend it out. And you can create so many eye looks using this palette. The formula is so good, and these are only for like $5. Go for it. This eyeshadow palette is good. And Wet n Wild released so many eyeshadow palettes recently, and I have tried a couple of them, but my favorite one so far is this one from Wet n Wild. Again, this is the Color Icon 10 pan eyeshadow palette, and this is, I think, Call Me Sunshine. This color story is very unique. It is a very like brown yellow themed eyeshadow palette, and what I like the most about this eyeshadow palette is the shimmers and the metallics. These are, oh, next level. Like, this shimmer formula is so high quality, so high-end formula. You can see it's like next level, and I do not have any such like yellow themed eyeshadow palette in my collection. So this is a very unique palette. Again, I have done so many eyeshadow looks using this palette. You are getting a beautiful topper shade as well, and the mattes are really pigmented, really blendable, buildable, buttery smooth. I love the quality of this eyeshadow palette. I have tried two more shades in this range. They are not really my favorites. Some of the matte shades are not really opaque, but with this formula, they have done a beautiful job. This palette is worth every single penny, and it's only for like $5. Again, such a good buy. Oh my, the next eyeshadow palette, it is so good. And I am talking about this Beauty Glazed Colourpop eyeshadow palette. I have shared with you my full in-depth review, swatches and everything. You can go ahead and check the video out. I will link it down in the description box down below. This eyeshadow formula, I am super duper impressed by the quality of the matte shadows. These matte shadows are one of the best matte eyeshadows that I have ever tried, no matter if it is drugstore or high-end. Guys, get this eyeshadow palette just for the mattes, and you will never need any eyeshadow palette in your collection. In case you have like neutral eyeshadow palettes and you want to play with colors, this is a very beginner friendly palette to try, and it has every color that you will ever need. Like you can create so many looks using this eyeshadow palette. Again, I have done several tutorials using this eyeshadow palette. You can go ahead and check them out. The shimmers are not really my favorite, but again, they are doable. They are very pigmented, as you guys can see, and these are like not foiled or metallic. I like my shimmers to be a little more metallic, but again, the shimmer formula is not bad at all. In case you are a satin shimmer lover, you are going to love this eyeshadow palette. The mattes, oh, do you see that? Do you see that? The mattes are supremely pigmented and they never ever become patchy. Like no matter what I do, this matte formula, it never goes patchy on me. It always ends up blending seamlessly on my eyes. I cannot rave enough about these eyeshadow palettes. They are only for $16, and I checked on Flipkart India, it was for like 399 rupees. Definitely check this palette out. This is like one of the best affordable eyeshadow palettes that I have ever tried. Check it out and you are going to love it. The next one, again, I have raved about this eyeshadow palette here on my channel a lot, and I'm talking about this NYX Ultimate Utopia eyeshadow palette over here. I dropped mine and this particular shade is completely gone. Again, I have done several tutorials using this eyeshadow palette. And the beauty of this eyeshadow palette is when you try to apply these shadows on your eyelids, you are getting the exact same shade that you see on the pan. The mattes, do you see that? Do you see the pigmentation? Let me just swatch a couple of shades for you. Here is the pink shade and here is the metallic like neon green shade over here. Do you see how pigmented they are? These shadows blend like a dream. Like you just dip your brush and you have got a lot of product on your brush. You forgot to tap it off and you just start applying it, and you might think that it will become patchy, but no matter what, the mattes blend beautifully. The shimmers are very nice foiled. You can see this shimmer is high-end, high quality. I am telling you, the formula of this eyeshadow palette is so good, but there is an inconsistency in their formula. I tried this eyeshadow palette and I just fell in love with it, but I tried their festival palette. This is from the same range, but this is another shade, festival palette. I did not like that palette at all. It was pigmented but very patchy, and the shimmers just do not have the depth, that pigmentation. In my opinion, I did not really like that palette, but this one, oh my god, the formula is top notch, and I highly recommend you getting this eyeshadow palette in case you are a fan of this color story. It is a pretty like cool tone palette. In case you love this color story, definitely check it out. Next, I have these two LA Girl Keep It Playful eyeshadow palettes, and this is the shade Foreplay and this is the shade Playmate. Playmate is a beautiful like cool toned red toned eyeshadow palette, and this one is a beautiful warm toned eyeshadow palette. Again, I have raved about these eyeshadow palettes before on my channel as well. This formula is again high quality, high end, and this formula is very comparable to Huda Beauty's formula. The mattes are, again, when you touch them, they're so soft and buttery. I have done several tutorials using these eyeshadow palettes. You can go ahead and check them out. The shimmers, do you even see that? The shimmers are so good, you guys. And I have tried some other LA Girl eyeshadow palettes as well, and I think LA Girl has been doing a great job with their eyeshadow palettes. The palettes that I have tried, I really love them, and these eyeshadow palettes are only for $9, and the formula is top notch. The mattes are blendable, buildable, pigmented. The shimmers are very foiled and metallic, and I like this kind of like reflecting metallic foiled shimmers for my looks. In case you use this eyeshadow palettes, you do not need to use any glitter or any eyeshadow toppers, because these shimmers are giving. I am telling you, these eyeshadow palettes are so good and you need to try them. Now next, I have like 3 eyeshadow palettes. They are not like technically drugstore, I believe, but they are drugstore priced, and you can get them from their website directly. They ship worldwide. And the first one is this Juvia's Palace Rustic eyeshadow palette, Rustic bronze eyeshadow palette, I believe. And I recently did a makeup tutorial using this eyeshadow palette, and some other makeup tutorials are coming up pretty soon. I have already filmed them. I have to edit and upload, so stay tuned for that. First of all, like, Juvia's Place formula is well known for its like blendability, for its affordability, and for its quality. This quality is again high end. The formula is very soft, smooth, and buttery, pigmented. The shimmers are really nice as well, and this palette is like my kind of palette. I love warm tones, and this palette is like everything for me. I can create so many different looks using these shadows. I have another shade that is, I think, berry shade or mauve shade. I will link it down in the description bar below. I love that one too, but I just could not find it anywhere, and this tells me I have to rearrange my makeup collection. Anyway, this eyeshadow formula is so good, pigmented, buttery, blendable, like they last throughout the day. And in case you are on a budget, definitely check these eyeshadow palettes out. These are so good. And in general, Juvia's Place eyeshadow formula is so good. And in case you are interested in trying out some different eyeshadow palettes, definitely check out Juvia's Place's line. They have so many shades, so many options to choose from. Definitely check out this line. Now next, I have another eyeshadow palette. This is again a neutral eyeshadow palette, and I'm talking about this Whatever palette from Colourpop. I have so many Colourpop eyeshadow palettes in my collection, but this palette just stands out to me because of the color story. Again, I'm a warm toned eyeshadow person, and I love these eyeshadow like shades. You are getting a beautiful burgundy. Oops, do you see that? Do you see that? Again, I have done so many eyeshadow looks using this particular eyeshadow palette. You can go ahead and check them out. The shimmers are so metallic and foiled. You are getting a super shock shadow as well here, which I love. And the matte formula is very pigmented. They blend really well, and they are very smooth on my eyes, and they never ever become patchy. Colourpop is known for their formula, and this formula is top notch, and the color story just stands out to me. So I am recommending you this eyeshadow palette. And in case you want to try Colourpop's eyeshadow palette and you are a like warm toned eyeshadow girl, definitely give it a shot. This eyeshadow palette is my ride or die favorite. I often use it in my day-to-day makeup routine. Definitely check it out. Next, I have one eyeshadow palette that is super duper affordable, and I am talking about this Profusion Wanderlust eyeshadow palette. I got mine from Walmart, and this palette is for like $10. I think Profusion is now available in India. In case you want to try Profusion's eyeshadow palette, definitely check it out. Again, there is an inconsistency in their formula. I have tried some of their smaller palettes. I do not really like them. They are very chalky. The shimmers are not my favorite at all. But in case you are a fan of colorful eyeshadows and you want to try colors, definitely check out this particular eyeshadow formula. And you can see this palette is well loved, baby. I have used this palette a lot, and you can find so many different tutorials using this palette. So in case you are looking for some inspiration, definitely check them out. Let me just swatch some of the shades for you. These are some like metallic like shimmer shades. Do you see how pigmented these are? And this is a matte shade. Oh my goodness, the shades are very pretty, very blendable, buildable, pigmented, and they are not patchy at all. Like no matter what I do, they never get patchy, and I can create so many different eyeshadow looks using this eyeshadow palette. Like the color story is just my favorite, and you are getting some neutral tones here as well. So in case you are a like neutral toned eyeshadow person, but you are willing to try some colors, definitely check it out, guys. You can create so many eyeshadow looks using this eyeshadow palette, and the formula is just my favorite. Again, I have tried so many Profusion eyeshadow palettes, and this palette is this palette just takes the cake for me. This palette is good, you guys. Definitely check it out. So yeah, there you have it, guys. These are the eyeshadow palettes that in my opinion, they are really good. The quality is there, they are affordable, and you will love them. So let me know if you are planning to get any of them, or if you have tried any of them, then let me know what do you guys think in the comment section down below. And if you have any video requests, then feel free to comment down below and give me some time to do a little bit of research to film, edit, and all that jazz. And I promise you I will honor your request. So if you have any video request, then feel free to comment down below. And please follow me on Instagram, because I upload a lot of Instagram reels, makeup tutorials, Insta stories. So in case you want to know more about me, then do follow me on Instagram, and the link will be given in the description box down below, or it is at @Nita's Glam World. So yeah, see you soon in my next video. Till then, bye and take care. Mwah. Bye.